Okay, we are live. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So I just wanted to come on here. I'm sure y'all have all heard about the Alpo Martinez murder. If y'all don't know who that is, we'll definitely discuss that in a few. But to sum it up, that is who the movie Paid in Full was based on. So I'm gonna just go ahead and get into it. So, and let me see. Should I share my screen? It's really not a. Okay. So this is from MSN News. Drug lord Alpo Martinez, who inspired the 2002 film Paid in Full, has been shot dead in Harlem. And y'all, when the police found his body, um, and found him like dead in a vehicle, they didn't even know who he was, um, because he was in witness protection for one. And the identification that he had on him when his body was discovered was like his witness protection like ID and stuff. They give you a whole new name, social security card, ID, and all that. So I'll read this for y'all. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and share the screen. Okay, so as you can see here, it says NYPD cops trying to save dying Alpo Martinez were unaware of his true identity as drug lord turned federal witness. So it says NYPD officers working to save a man shot several times while sitting in his truck on a Harlem street had no idea he was notorious drug lord turned federal witness Alberto Alpo Martinez. Um, he was gasping for air when cops found him slumped behind the wheel of a Dodge Ram that had crashed into three parked cars on Frederick Douglass Boulevard, near West 147th Street, just after 3:20 a.m. And this happened this past Sunday, y'all. So he has been shot 6 times in the chest and the arm. Responding officers performed CPR on Martinez as they called for an EMS ambulance, and Martinez later died at Harlem Hospital. So this is a picture of him like when he was younger. So it says a gunman shot Martinez through the one-time Kingpin's driver's side window, cops said. As he was mortally wounded, he drove off. He rear-ended another vehicle, then sped off before crashing into the row of parked cars. As he tried to escape his killer, Martinez began tossing drugs from his car, police sources said. A trail of baggies filled with heroin was found on the ground between where he was shot and where he crashed. So y'all, that just go to show he went through all of that and did all that time in prison and came back and did the same thing after he done ratted on everybody in this organization. But anyway, it also says when he died, cops only had one name for the victim, Abraham Rodriguez, of Maine, the new identity given to him by the feds after he went into the witness protection program. It wasn't until several hours later that a tipster reached out to the NYPD and told police the dead man was the infamous drug dealer. Fingerprints later confirmed his identity. So, and y'all could just imagine like how many people probably wanted him dead. And two, let me get into it about like his case and everything. Um, like I said earlier, he inspired the character Rico in the movie, who was played by Cameron. Ace was inspired by AZ or Ozzy Faison, and Mitch was based on Rich Porter. So he did this interview, and I just want to let y'all hear this because if y'all haven't seen the movie, Rich was his best friend, and he ended up killing Rich. Listen to the audio.
Do you mind taking me on the tour exactly of where it happened, how it happened? And kind of walk me through it. Right here where I was meeting Rich that night, and I pulled up right here. He got into the van. He got into the van right here, and once he got into the van, I locked. I knew I had to lock. I locked the doors, and as I was pulling off, I was asking him because it didn't take long after I pulled off. I was asking him like, "Yo, Rich, where did you get that coat from, man? That shit was good." Because I wanted to make him comfortable. That shit was good as a motherfucker. He's like, "I got it from my connect." I said, "Oh yeah." So from there, I knew he was lying. I turned to my little man. I gave him the nod. Once I gave him the nod, my little man spent because he was short, so he could stand up in the van. Next thing you heard was the two gunshots, bang, bang. Richard slumped over, and it happened. It happened right here. It happened right here. At this light. At this light, it happened. I'm saying, in my mind, I'm saying to my little man, yo, he's dead. He's done it. He just got hit with a 357. Twice. The only sound I heard was, him releasing his breath, his last breath. So I'm assuming that he's dead. And I need to find a place to put his, leave his body without anyone seeing me and seeing the van or just, so the only place I can think of and just driving it, and it's just so funny. I'm saying City Island, but I'm not even sure if I wanted City Island, but I just knew I wanted to get off the streets and get onto a highway. How did you feel? Was you mad? Was you angry? Like, what was going on in your head? I was very mad. I just killed a nigga that I loved, a nigga that I was getting money with.
Okay, let me pause this. Okay, y'all, if somebody, first of all, it doesn't sound like he had any type of remorse. And he was casually and like discussing how he killed his supposedly best friend. If he can hold himself together and speak without remorse on killing somebody that he claimed that he loved, I would hate to see like how he treated enemies. um well, he killed him as well because he went to jail for 14 murders. Well, all of them he didn't commit himself, as you heard from the audio. And we'll also discuss go into detail about Wayne Perry. And then it just baffles me how he was able to kill Rich Porter and then walk around on the same streets. Like he wouldn't have been able to do that. Like not down here, because somebody would have been killed him. Anyway, let's get back to it.
A nigga that I called my brother. We kept driving this way, and until I can find a remote spot to leave the body. Go around this turn right here. Yeah, loop it real quick. It was somewhere over here. So I pulled over like right here, through the van up on as close as I can to the rail. Once I pulled over, my little man, Gary's probably like 5'3", 1 something. So I'm trying to stay behind this. I'm trying to stay behind the steering wheel. I'm trying to stay in the driver's seat just in case we gotta pull off, and have him go dump the body. But when he went to go try to get Rich out the car, he couldn't pick him up. He couldn't pick him up. Rich was bigger than him, so he couldn't move him to put him in the woods and all that. So now I had to get out the van to go help him. And when I went to go help him, Richard made a sound. So that shit startled me. Oh shit, he's still alive. So I grabbed the gun. I grabbed the gun from my little man and put one in his head. And then I had to pick him up. And dump him in the woods and leave his body. I was able to, get him where he needed to be. And then we jumped back in the van, and I made sure I didn't skid off or anything like that to leave any kind of tracks. And we left. And the rest was the newspapers. The rest was history.
Okay, so that was like one of the interviews that he did, and I'll put the link to the interview in the description box. Oh, what up, Joe? I had to record in here because my husband is playing Call of Duty and making all that damn noise in there. Oh, hold up. I'm gonna post the link. You can come on if you want. Okay. So and if you heard like the beginning of the interview, when he was discussing Gary, who actually was the one that killed Rich, um he also ended up killing Gary, the guy that killed Rich. And I also have a clip from the part of the interview that he did on that. Let me see. Can I get it pulled up so I can play it? And let me see. I'm gonna see if I can get a video pulled up of Gary while I play this interview. So that y'all can like have a visual of who he was.
So time went on.
This is the interview.
One day, me and him and one of his workers were sitting at a table at a restaurant having a sandwich.
Gary.
And he called my wife a bitch. Because he was like, man, you still with that crazy bitch? And I just looked over at him. And I could have took it a little better if it was just me and him. But one of his workers was there. Right. And I kind of like gave him that look like, yo, you really disrespected me right now. And so he seen her. She was coming to look for me down South West because she knew I hung out down there. So the kid, Gary, seen her. He was like, yo, there go that bitch. Look at that bitch. Who she looking for? She must be looking for Poe. And my man Wayne heard him say this. And he beat me. He beat me later. He was like, yo, Gary was down here talking trash about you and he disrespected your wife. I was going to kill him right there. But I said, let me get with you first. because I was like, no, I still got love for the kid. No, he's just frustrated right now. And we had a lot of secrets on one another, and I always told them before this happened, I said, we know so much about one another that if we was to ever get into any type of confusion or anything, one of us would have to leave. And I'm definitely not going back to New York because I'm getting money. So the only thing else is one of us will have to die. He was like, yo, I feel you, because we knew a lot about one another.
So hold up, let me go to the picture so I can show y'all who Gary was, who he's talking about in this interview. And this was him. So he was the trigger man behind the Rich murder. And so then Alpo ended up turning around and killing him. So let's get back to it.
Now I got this deal coming up with this connect, like yo, this crazy big deal, like yo, they want me to put up like, I had to put up like maybe about $2 million. They was gonna hit me with like probably about, I say anywhere from like $6 million worth of coke in New York. You hear me? Yeah, it was like about $6 million. So they wanted me to put up like $2 million, and I owe $4. Okay. Right? So I had like 1.5. I put up like 1.5, and I was just telling my little man for him to just put up a $500,000. Okay. I was able to put up the whole. I could have put up the whole $2 million at that time. Okay. This would have just set us on the map for. And it was at like 11,000 a key, 10,000 a key. I could have came to DC and got 19,000. To the dudes who I didn't really like, and the dudes who I was real cool with, I could have got 17. That was like $6,000, $8,000 profit. So before this goes about, his anger is really building up with me, and he's not really feeling me like that anymore. And we really had stopped hanging out, but I didn't really pay no attention to it. I'm saying I still got love for this kid and all that. So he tells somebody down in Lawton prison about this deal. He told somebody that he was cool with down there. Only thing he didn't know that the same person that he's telling, they know my man, Wayne. My man Wayne, he get to me and say, yo, you about to put a deal together in New York for this, that, and gonna put gas. I said, what the hell? I said, how you know? He said, well, man, my man called me down from Lawton. He said, Gary told him that, yo, that you want to put this deal together and it ain't gonna go, he gonna wind up doing you in the process. Just how much anger he built up for me. So I said, oh, yeah. So my man was like, yo, I said, no, we got to do this right now. Can't just be running up on Gary in broad daylight. That's gonna come back to us. So we gotta do this right, and we gotta get him when nobody know. So my little man Gary, he had a little beef with somebody, and they just like maybe like a month earlier, they tried to kill him. And so he beats me one night and said, yo, kid, one of the kids' name was Jawbreaker out of DC. The kid named Jawbreaker. He said, yo, I know where Jawbreaker them at. This is Gary talking to us on the phone. Like, yo, I know where the kid Jawbreaker them at. They had such and such, such and such. I said, oh yeah. So I'm talking to my phone. I said, who you with? He said, yo, I'm by myself. I said, you got something? He said, yeah, I got 2 pistols with me now. I said, all right. I was with my man Wayne and like 2 other dudes that were under my man Wayne. So that was our perfect opportunity. My man Wayne was like, yo, this is it. Make it happen. So we go. We jump in this kid MPV van, because we used to like use an MPV van because they had the little side compartments. We could throw the pistols in there if the police pull us over. Okay. Real quick. So we jump in the MPV van. So I'm driving because since I was like the best driver. So we go meet the kid Gary, because this is a perfect opportunity. Don't nobody know he's with us now. And when he come up missing, we can always be like, man, I knew how to deny it quick. Okay. So we go get him. Boom. So we go get him. He gets into the MPV van. He parks his car, whatever. He parks his truck. He had the truck at the time. He parks his truck. I met him on Florida Avenue. I go meet him on Florida Avenue by a Wendy's, I think it was. Okay. We get a little revolver out of the stash, and I give it to the dudes that's sitting in back of my man Gary. So my man Gary, he's in the middle, but he don't know that we done slipped the revolver to the back to the kid who's gonna hit him in the head. We ran for about 5-10 minutes after we get the gas. Bang! My man hit him. I give the signal through the rearview mirror. My man hit him with the revolver, 2 in the head. All you hear is, ugh. Once he hit him, because the the kid Gary was getting kind of sleepy because we was about to be like, yo, we ain't gonna catch these dudes. So, Gary was getting kind of sleepy, so he like dozed off for a minute. So he never even seen it or felt it coming. So the kid hit him with the revolver, bow, bow. So the bullets don't go nowhere because in the revolver they don't pop out. Okay. So he hit him in the head twice. Down, Gary. He winds up shitting on himself. Okay. From his muscles relaxing. Okay. So, he's stinking up the car and all that. So that's how the thing came about that his dick was chopped off. So we had to find some woods. So I had to find somewhere to dump him at. So we wound up taking him in this park over on 16th Street in Northwest. Okay. I don't know if it's Potomac Park. I think it's called Potomac Park or something. So we wound up taking him over there. And I said, yo, man, we're going to leave him in the woods. So I said, yo. So we pull over in this real dark. I said, yo, take off his clothes, man. For they won't spot him through the clothes and all that. Take off his clothes and leave him naked in the woods. So we do that, and we dragging him through the woods naked. So he gets a couple of scratches on his body and his face and on his penis because, we taking him through the woods. We dragging him. So that's how it came about that they thought we chopped off his dick and all that. And I thought where we left him at was real cool, but we wound up leaving him next to some type of telephone box or something. The next day, just so happened that the telephone people was coming out to fix this box. And that's how they found him the next day. And in these...
Yeah. Just listening to how he explains like what happened and his excuse my dog. Go get in your cage. Like Alpo is like the worst type to that nigga is a snake. He killed all his friends, and I believe on the low, like he was on some hating pocket watching type shit. He didn't want nobody to like outdo him. He was jealous of Mitch because Mitch started getting like his own connects and all that. And it just amazes me how he catch a federal case and committed all these murders and the feds let him back on the street. That just baffles me. And Wayne, well, he ended up snitching on Wayne. So I wanted to share. Let me see if I can get it pulled up. You gotta get your attachments up. That's what I told you. You gotta stand team deathmatch. Let me share this. Cause y'all, I'm about to read this off of here. Okay. So how Wayne ties into all of this. Wayne is the man who protected Alpo. He was basically his enforcer for the Martinez organization. Because if you're familiar with the story, Alpo not only was like running New York, he was like transport drugs to other cities too, and he also soon took over like the DC area. Trevor, bye. Go get in your cage. It's my damn dog, y'all. Okay, so it says Silk acted as bodyguard and hitman for Alpo, who, after he was apprehended by the law and arrested, snitched on his two loyal right-hand men, Wayne and countless others. But Silk didn't get down like that. He took his on the chin and he kept on fighting. He held true to the code of the streets that spawned him. He's gone down in infamy as one of the top soldiers from the murder capital, a true warrior and hustler who lives by the creed of death before dishonor. The Washington Post called him one of the district's most heinous murderers. In almost 15 years after his rise, the streets are still talking about him. Wayne was so smooth with that murder shit that when he first started killing for money in the city, niggas didn't even know who was knocking them heads. They was talking about it was a hitman in town from Detroit somewhere. So, I do have a clip of another interview that Alpo did, discussing another murder that him and Wayne committed, about when they killed this female that was like supposed to rat on them and testify against them in court, which they ended up beating the case. Well, Wayne ended up beating the case because um from the way he explains it, Alpo wasn't directly related to this case, but the woman was gonna testify against Wayne. So let me go ahead and do this clip and get this clip out the way. So here we go.
Other things and let me see. Oh, I got a gruesome murder. I got one. It was a young. It was a female in D.C.
Okay, so the guy that's interviewing him asked him, um, what was the most gruesome murder that him and Wayne committed. So this is his response to that question.
And she was supposedly a person that was giving information to the police about certain individuals, and she was with someone. She was with someone one night when my man killed this kid. My man Wayne killed this kid. As a matter of fact, my man Wayne later on killed the kid that I said was the car wash dude that I gave $200 to. Right. So he was talking trash, and my man slid up on him in the gas station and plucked him. And this girl was with him, and she seen my man Wayne, and so I one night, let me see, yeah, one night, so one night my man, the same female that tried to testify against him, she was getting high. She started getting high. Right. We was down southwest, and my man seen her one late night, and he was always trying to get her, but there was always some people around, or it just wasn't the right time. So this night, and I had just bought him a MPV van. It was a 4x4 burgundy MPV van. Okay. I had just got it for him, and so we down in southwest. It was about 3 in the morning. So here come this hooker. Here come this lady skipping through the alley, going to get some crack. So my man Wayne see her, right? So he sent one of his soldiers to go cut off at the path away from her behind the wall. So when she comes, the kid throws her in the yoke, a dolphin yoke, and chokes her out, right? So then he backs one of the hoopties up into the parking lot, and they throw her in the back seat of the car. So I was driving. I was in the MPV van asleep. So they wake me up and say, yo, we got him, man. He got him. Didn't nobody see us and this and that. So I'm like, oh, man. All right. So I get out the MPV van, and this time I bought me something to get around town real quick just in case I had to run. I bought me a hardtop Mustang 5.0. Okay. The hardtop was something for me to burn out with 5-speed. So I said after they take care of this, I'm going home, man. And so this girl that he was in love with, she was there too. So he gave her the keys to the MPV van and told her to drive and follow. Now his thing was mental torture too, because he wanted her to see him about to kill this girl. So if she ever think about doing anything crazy, this will happen to her. Right. So he didn't have no problem with her seeing it. So she was driving, and we had like a white two-door, I think it was a Cup, is it? So it was him, the driver, and him, the driver. It was him, the driver. The hooker was in the back. Yeah, yeah, and another dude. Okay, and so the girl he had back there, she don't know what. No, okay, it was. I'm not bad. It was the driver. And my man Wayne, and they threw the hooker in the back seat. Okay. So now she's out. She's unconscious. So when she wakes up, she finds out that I can see her because I'm following them. So when she wakes up, she finds out that she realized that she in this car with this dude that's about to murder her. Right. And so my man, Wayne, he puts the tape in. He can listen over some. He got some music playing. So he throws in a bitch is a bitch. I think who is that? By Easy or something? Yeah. Easy, right? Right. He throw that joint. A bitch is a bitch. playing the joint a bit is a bit. Now, he didn't just kill him. What he did was first he stabbed us several times because sometimes we couldn't get into the spot. Sometimes we didn't want to carry pistols all the time. We couldn't get into the spots all the time. So we bought some nice switchblades. Right. Some nice sharp tools in case we had to stab somebody, we get up out of there. Right. So he had one of those knives with him. So he stabbed her several times first in the back seat, all in the face, in the head, in the body. He stabbed her several times first. Then he shot her like 4 or 5 times. Because this was a testified against him, but he beat the case. Okay. So he beat the case. Yeah. So her brains and everything was splattered all in the back seat. So after he did that, we dumped her on this joint out in DC called 295, which is a highway. Okay. That's why they started getting it the 295 murders or something. Okay. So that was she was one of the second girls we left on that highway. So we left her on the joint, and her blood and some of her brain was in the car. So we had to go over one of his baby mother's houses by the highway and clean the joint out. Y'all weren't afraid that the police would pull up while you was cleaning it out? You know, the police and thing is a little different in DC. They're not out. They out, but you know, they not seen like they are in New York. Okay. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So no, we wasn't. You know what? That fear never came to us. That fear never came to us, man. About that worrying about the police and all that. I mean, we used to try to do it where we wouldn't get caught and all that stuff, but it wasn't a thing like we was feared of that. So we dumped her on the highway and we took it. So the second body y'all dumped on the highway? Yeah, that was the second one. Okay. And we took her to 290. We took the car up to the girl and we got some towels and started and told some of the other soldiers to clean out the car and clean the brains out. And you can see the brains just coming out the car. That was a gruesome joke. That was a pretty gruesome joke. The cars that were behind y'all, did they hit the bodies that they were on the highway? Huh? No, we pulled over. Oh, you pulled over and threw them in the bushes? Threw them in the bushes on the side of the road, yeah. Oh, okay. Took the dead body out and threw them on the side of the road. Okay. And whatever became of all other guys that you were giving cocaine to? The ones out of DC. A lot of them are still on the street. That's what come up.
Okay, so this is a prime example of how the justice system is um basically failed in this situation, because here this woman was, she testified against Wayne, and they ended up letting him walk, and he came back and he killed her. So let me finish reading this for y'all. um Now, so as I said, Wayne was known like as a hitman, and he was Alpo's like right hand man. So this is a quote from somebody that was close to him, that was saying that like when he was, let me see. Oh, it was said that when Wayne was on the streets, certain hustlers wouldn't even drive nice cars because they didn't want Wayne to think they was getting money. And weak dudes, or those that was like punks, weren't supposed to have shit as far as Wayne was concerned. 80% of the dudes that like fucked with him back in the day dealt with him out of fear. When he started taking money for hits, nobody was safe. If the price was right, and it was nobody that was in Wayne's circle, he ain't had no problem killing them. There are stories of Silk sleeping in the yards of dudes that had money on their heads until he could get them. And this is a quote directly from Wayne. I don't play that across the street shit. I walk right up and put 7 in the head like it ain't shit. The fear that he put in the hearts of some people was like no other. My thing is, he should have killed Alpo. Um, he should have killed him simply off the fact that he knew too much about him, and ultimately it ended up causing him to get like 5 life sentences. So he was convicted for the 14 murders along with Alpo, but people, or rumor has it, that there are like dozens more that he committed. So at the time when Alpo got convicted, he was only 25 years old. He became government witness, and the deal was for him to testify against like the former members of his gang, rivals, and associates. And oh, this I already told y'all this. It's basically saying in the end, Perry received 5 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. And alongside giving names and details of people of interest to the feds, um, Martinez confessed to the murders. As a result, he avoided the death penalty or the possibility of life without parole, and was sentenced to 35 years in prison. But he was released in 2015. Um, and then once he was released, he entered into the federal witness protection program. So that's why when the body was found, the police had no idea who he was. Let me see. Let me see if I could pull this. It was a little snippet. I'll put the link to all these. I'm trying to put the links in. Um, well, I'll just put them in later after I finish and upload this video. Um, that's pretty much it. What just so happened, I saw this come across my timeline on Facebook. And I had never, even before now, I had never heard of Alpo, but I had seen the movie Paid in Full. So and I'm sure a lot of, well, most black people have seen Paid in Full, but I'm not sure of how many people were aware of the backstory and how the movie came about. So that's what made me curious about this, and that's what inspired this video. So that's that, and that's all I have for y'all tonight. um Drop comments, questions if y'all have any of that. Thumbs up this video, and I will see you guys later. Peace.